10 mistakes that steal your sleep, what to do and what to avoid, to sleep through the night and wake up full of energy and strength. In this video, we're not going to talk about cliches like drink less coffee. We will break down 10 non-obvious, science-backed mistakes that turn your bedroom into a battlefield. And I promise, by the end, you'll look at your sleep in a completely different way. And tip number 1 is the simplest and most powerful of them all. Let's start this journey to quality rest right now. Number 10. Don't sleep in complete silence. Let's start with something that completely shatters conventional ideas about sleep. We were taught from childhood that you need perfect silence to sleep. But here's the paradox. Absolute dead silence is your brain's enemy. Imagine yourself as our distant ancestor sleeping in a cave. Complete silence would mean one of two things for them. Either everything is so good that even the cicadas have gone quiet, or a predator is lurking nearby. The brain is evolutionarily wired to perceive absolute silence as a potential threat. It doesn't relax. On the contrary, it goes into scanning mode. It tenses up and literally stands guard, listening to the void. What if something happened? Why is it so quiet? That's why any sudden sound against this backdrop of silence acts like a thunderclap. A neighbor's dog barks, a door creaks, a car drives by, and your brain, which is on high alert, instantly yanks you out of sleep. It's like sitting in a quiet library when someone suddenly drops a stack of books. The effect is deafening. What to do? Create a cocoon of sound. Turn on a light, monotonous background noise. This could be the sound of a fan, an air conditioner, a dedicated white noise machine, or an app on your phone with the sounds of rain, wind, or ocean waves. There's just one important detail. If you use your phone, you must put it in airplane mode. I'll explain in detail in point number 7 why this is critically important, even if you're not looking at the screen. This steady hum acts like a sound blanket. It masks sharp, random noises, preventing them from breaking through to your consciousness. But more importantly, it gives the brain a signal of stability and safety. The monotonous sound says, everything is fine. The environment isn't changing. There are no predators. You can switch off. Your internal guardian can finally leave its post. By the way, I'm very curious. What do you use to create a comfortable background for sleep? Maybe you have a favorite rain sound, the hum of a fan, or a special kind of white noise. Write about it in the comments right now. Let's build a collection of the best sounds for falling asleep together. So now you know, too quiet is bad. Your hearing is now safe. But here's what else might be keeping you awake, even when everything seems perfect. Number 9. Avoid strong scents. Many of us love to light a scented candle before bed, use a diffuser with essential oils, or sleep on linens that smell of a powerful fabric softener. It seems like this creates a cozy atmosphere and helps us relax. But here, we fall into a trap again. Our sense of smell is one of the most ancient and powerful senses, directly linked to the brain's limbic system, which is responsible for emotions and survival instincts. Even the most pleasant but intense aroma is first and foremost information for the brain to process. When you inhale the scent of vanilla, citrus, or sandalwood, your brain isn't just enjoying it. It's launching a whole analytical process. What is this smell? Where is it coming from? Is it safe? Is it associated with any danger or, conversely, with food? This analysis happens on a subconscious level, but it requires resources and prevents the brain from completely shutting down. It remains in a state of light alertness. What to do? The ideal scent for a bedroom is its almost complete absence. The smell of cleanliness, fresh, well-ventilated air, a barely perceptible scent of clean bedding without aggressive fragrances. If you still want to use scents, choose the weakest and most neutral ones possible. For example, a few drops of lavender oil, not in a diffuser, but on a cotton pad somewhere in the corner of the room. Your goal is for the brain to consider the environment neutral and safe. To receive the signal, nothing is happening here. Everything is calm. You can sleep. By the way, I personally believe that the best scent in the world for sleep is not lavender or sandalwood. It's the smell of a clean pillow that has been warmed by the sun. I remember as a child, my grandmother would take the pillows and blankets outside, and they would warm up there all day. In the evening, they smelled of some incredible freshness and literally radiated heat. For me, that is the benchmark scent for perfect sleep. What are your favorite scents that help you fall asleep? Maybe you have a special story too. Share it in the comments. I'd love to read it. But it's not just smells that can interfere. Sometimes you yourself, with your own body, become the main source of your insomnia. Number 8. Change your position if you feel the slightest tension. Here's a common mistake. You found what you think is the perfect sleeping position, and you try to freeze in it like a statue. You think that a complete lack of movement is synonymous with relaxation. In reality, it's the exact opposite. When you force yourself to lie motionless, especially if there's even the slightest tension in your body, an arm is positioned uncomfortably, your neck is stiff. Your lower back is tense, the muscles don't relax. Instead, they spasm even more. The body freezes, and the brain receives an alarm signal from it. For our subconscious, prolonged immobility in a tense posture is a reaction to danger, the so-called freeze response. It's a signal of, I'm in an ambush, I'm hiding, I'm ready to pounce. What kind of sleep can you get then? What to do? Listen to your body. If you feel even minimal discomfort, don't tolerate it. Move slightly. Change the position of your legs. Reposition your arm. Turn your head. Make a slow, smooth movement. Each such micro-movement sends a signal to the brain. I am alive. I am safe. I control my body. There is no danger. The brain perceives this as confirmation of safety and gradually releases its control, allowing the muscles to truly relax. Sleep is not about freezing. It's about smoothly flowing into relaxation. By the way, one of the easiest ways to ruin your night is to keep your phone nearby. Yes, even if you don't use it. Number 7. Remove your phone from the bedroom. I just put it on the nightstand. I don't look at the screen. I need it as an alarm clock. I hear this all the time. But the problem isn't just the blue light from the screen, which suppresses melatonin production. The problem is the very presence of the phone next to you. Your brain knows that in that little box lies the entire world. Work, friends, news, entertainment. It's a portal to an endless stream of information and, more importantly, to dopamine, the hormone of anticipation and reward. The mere fact that the phone is within arm's reach keeps a part of your brain on high alert. You subconsciously wait for a notification. Even if they're turned off, the brain remembers that they could come. Every such anticipation is a microdose of dopamine that acts as a stimulant, disrupting your natural sleep rhythms. It's like trying to fall asleep with a chocolate bar next to your pillow and promising yourself not to eat it. You'll still think about it. The phone is digital chocolate for our brain. What to do? The solution is drastic, but the only right one. Remove the phone from the bedroom. Completely. Leave it to charge in the kitchen or the living room. But what about my alarm, you ask? Buy the simplest, cheapest electronic or even a mechanical alarm clock. This $10 investment will be one of the best investments in your health. Create a zone in your bedroom that is free from digital noise. It should be a sanctuary for sleep, not a branch of your office or social media. Remember in point 10, we talked about background noise. Perhaps you use your phone for that. If giving it up completely isn't an option, there's a compromise. Download the sounds you need in advance, or use an offline app. And then, be sure to switch your phone to airplane mode. And if you're already lying there without your phone and getting angry that you can't fall asleep, the next mistake is almost certainly familiar to you. Number 6. Don't try to force yourself to sleep. This is the most insidious trap of all. 15 minutes pass, 20, half an hour, and sleep won't come. And you begin an internal dialogue. Okay, I need to sleep. Come on, fall asleep. Why am I not sleeping? I have to get up early tomorrow. I need to fall asleep right now. The moment you say, I have to fall asleep, your brain perceives it not as a command to relax, but as a task to be completed. And to complete a task, the brain mobilizes resources. It increases concentration, activates the prefrontal cortex. You are starting a mechanism that is the direct opposite of falling asleep. This is called paradoxical effort. The harder you try, the worse the result. Sleep is not something you can do. It's a process you have to let yourself fall into. The result of your efforts is predictable. 5 minutes later, you feel even more awake and angrier than before. What to do? Use the 20-minute rule, the gold standard of cognitive behavioral therapy for insomnia. If you've been lying in bed and can't fall asleep for about 20 minutes, don't look at the clock, just go by feel. Get up. Go to another room. Turn on a very dim light, a night light, a lamp with a warm light, and do something utterly boring and monotonous. Read the instruction manual for an appliance, a dull scientific article, or flip through a dictionary. No screens, no work, nothing emotionally engaging. Your task is not to entertain yourself, but to tire your brain with routine. As soon as you feel the first signs of drowsiness, yawning, heavy eyelids, immediately return to bed. This way, you break the association of bed, quells a place for struggle and anxiety, and create a new one. Bed quells a place for sleep. So, friends, we are exactly at the halfway point of our list. We've already covered 5 hidden enemies of your sleep, and I hope you've already found something useful for yourself. If that's the case, and at least one of these tips has made you think, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel if you're not with us yet. It's the best way to say thank you and help other people see this information. Believe me, this was just the warm-up. Ahead of us are the 5 main points that touch on the psychology of sleep. And at the very end, 3 powerful, practical bonus tips. So don't go anywhere. The most interesting part is just beginning. And now for a point that sounds cliché, but ruins thousands of nights every second all over the world. Number 5. Don't look at the clock at night. You've woken up in the middle of the night. What is your first instinctive move? That's right, to look at the clock. And in that very moment, you commit an act of sabotage against your own sleep. Every glance at the time triggers a cascade of catastrophic thoughts and a stress reaction in your brain. Oh no, it's 3 a.m. I only have 4 hours left to sleep. Why did I wake up? I'll never get back to sleep. I'm going to be a wreck tomorrow. These thoughts are a direct command for your adrenal glands to produce cortisol, the stress hormone. Cortisol is an antagonist to melatonin. It literally screams to your body, alert, wake up, prepare for action. And that's it, you're wide awake again. Your heart is beating faster, and sleep has retreated for an indefinite period. You've completely woken yourself up just by looking at the time. Remove clocks from your line of sight. If it's a digital clock, turn it to face the wall. If it's your fitness tracker, take it off for the night or disable the screen activation on wrist movement. If it's your phone, we've already agreed it doesn't belong in the bedroom. Your task is to make time cease to exist for you from the moment you get into bed until the moment your alarm rings. Let the night be a single, whole period of rest. Not a segment that you frantically divide into hours and minutes. Now let's go a little deeper, right into the stomach. The cause of your insomnia is often hiding there too. Number 4. Don't go to bed hungry or overstuffed. Balance is the key word for healthy sleep, and this applies to our nutrition as well. The two extremes are equally harmful. When you go to bed hungry, your blood sugar level drops. For the body, this is a stressor. To raise glucose levels, it starts producing that same cortisol and adrenaline. These hormones will either prevent you from falling asleep or cause you to wake up in the middle of the night with a feeling of anxiety and a gnawing in your stomach. The opposite situation, you've had a heavy dinner right before bed. Now, instead of recovering, your body is forced to work the night shift. All its energy goes into digesting heavy food. Your body temperature rises, whereas for sleep, it should decrease. Plus, lying down after a meal can cause acid reflux and heartburn. The ideal scenario is a light dinner 3 to 4 hours before bed. But if you feel slightly hungry before sleep, don't suffer. The best option is a small snack that combines complex carbohydrates and protein. For example, a small portion of oatmeal, a banana with a spoonful of almond butter, a handful of walnuts, or the classic glass of warm milk. It contains tryptophan, a precursor to serotonin and melatonin. Such a snack will stabilize your blood sugar levels throughout the night, and you'll fall asleep gently, without hormonal dips or spikes. The next point sounds simple, but its effect is like a good turn off the brain button. Number 3. Warm your feet, not your head. You've probably noticed that it's almost impossible to fall asleep with cold feet. And this isn't just discomfort. It's pure physiology. Our body is programmed so that for sleep to begin, its core body temperature must drop slightly. And the most effective way to start this process is to warm your extremities, that is, your hands and feet. When your feet are warm, the blood vessels in them expand. This phenomenon is called vasodilation. Through the widened vessels, blood flows to the skin and begins to actively release heat into the environment. The body effectively dumps excess heat. The core temperature drops, and the brain receives a powerful, unambiguous signal. Temperature is dropping. Conditions are ideal. Time to sleep. Trying to fall asleep with your head tucked under the blanket is counterproductive. Your head, on the contrary, should remain cool. Keep your head cool and your feet warm. This old saying has a direct bearing on the quality of your sleep. The easiest way is to wear light, non-tight socks made of natural materials, cotton, wool, to bed. If you don't like sleeping in socks, take a warm foot bath for 10 to 15 minutes before bed. This will not only warm your feet, but also help you relax further. Or, simply place a hot water bottle at your feet. The effect will amaze you, but even with warm feet and in complete darkness, you won't fall asleep if your head is spinning with an endless list of tomorrow's tasks. Number 2. Let go of tomorrow in advance. One of the main reasons the brain refuses to fall asleep is that it senses incompleteness. It replays in your mind everything that needs to be done tomorrow. Answer that email, call that client, buy groceries. Don't forget about the meeting. The brain can't relax as long as it feels that chaos and uncertainty, which it doesn't control, await it tomorrow. This mental rumination keeps it in an active state. What to do? Perform a day-closing ritual. An hour before bed, take a piece of paper or a notebook, specifically paper, not your phone, and a pen. Write down the 2 to 3 most important tasks you need to do tomorrow. Don't write a list of 20 things. That will cause even more stress. Just the key points. This simple act of physically writing it down works like magic. You essentially offload these tasks from your working memory onto an external drive. Your psyche receives a powerful signal. The plan for tomorrow is set. I am in control. I don't need to keep this in my head all night. You give your brain official permission to stop thinking about it. You let go of tomorrow, and it stops invading your night. And finally, the best tip on this list. It's so simple and counterintuitive that it might have already started working as you're listening to me. Number 1. Use the boredom effect. We are always trying to relax. We meditate, do breathing exercises, listen to calming music. These are all good, but sometimes they also turn into a task that we are trying to accomplish. Now, think back. When do you fall asleep most easily? Remember a boring lecture at university, a tedious meeting at work, or a long train ride with a monotonous landscape outside the window. Sleep comes not when you are desperately trying to relax, but when your brain gets a little bored. When there are no interesting stimuli to process, the brain decides there's nothing else to do and switches to energy-saving mode, which is sleep. What to do? Instead of counting sheep, which actually requires concentration, try mentally performing a maximally repetitive, monotonous, and meaningless action. Imagine you are walking down an endless empty corridor with identical doors. Step, another step, another. You don't need to analyze anything, just walk. Or imagine you are standing at a conveyor belt, moving tennis balls from one place to another. Or mentally sorting a huge pile of identical gray socks. The key is that the image must be neutral and absolutely boring. After a couple of minutes of this mental nothingness, your brain itself will conclude, there is absolutely nothing to do here. Let's go to sleep. And you will drift off smoothly without even noticing it. We've gone through the 10 main mistakes, but I promised you a bonus. Now I will answer 3 very common and tormenting questions about sleep. But first, if at least one of the tips in this video seemed useful or interesting to you, please don't be lazy and give it a like. It will take you 1 second, but for me, and for the YouTube algorithms, it will be a signal that this video is genuinely helping people with sleep problems, and more viewers will see it. And, of course, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, so you don't miss new useful videos. Thank you so much. Okay, the bonus. Problem 1. You fall asleep easily, but wake up 2 or more times a night to use the restroom. This condition is called nocturia, and it terribly fragments your sleep. The solution is a simple method I call the 3-2-1 rule. 3 hours before bed, you completely stop eating. This is especially true for large volume foods. For dinner, have something light with an emphasis on protein and vegetables, not a bowl of soup. 2 hours before bed, you stop drinking any liquid. At all. The only exception is a small sip to take medication. No tea, water, or kefir at night. 1 hour before bed, do a simple exercise. Lie on the floor and raise your legs up against a wall for 10 to 15 minutes. During the day, fluid accumulates in your legs due to gravity. This exercise will help it return to your bloodstream and be filtered by your kidneys before you go to bed. And right before you get into bed, go to the toilet using the double voiding technique. First, empty your bladder as usual. Then wait 30 seconds, relax, and try to do it again. You'll be surprised, but a small amount of liquid will still come out. This helps to empty the bladder completely. Problem 2. You wake up in the middle of the night with a strange feeling of anxiety and a racing heart. If you've ruled out medical causes, this is very often related to a deficiency of 2 key substances for the nervous system, magnesium and glycine. Pay attention to the form of magnesium. Magnesium glycinate or threonate is best for sleep. They are well absorbed and calm the nervous system. Now about glycine. Many people say, I've tried glycine, it's a placebo, it doesn't work. The problem is that people take ridiculous doses of 100 to 400 milligrams, dissolving tablets under their tongue. The effective dose of glycine, confirmed by studies for improving sleep quality, is 3 grams, 3,000 milligrams, dissolved in a small amount of water an hour before bed. Glycine in this dosage acts as an inhibitory neurotransmitter in the brain and helps lower the core body temperature. which is critical for deep sleep. Remember, consult with a healthcare professional before using any supplements. Problem 3. You sleep for 7 or even 8 hours but wake up feeling tired and groggy. If you're getting enough sleep in terms of duration but not quality, 90% of the time the culprit is breathing problems during sleep. This could be snoring, a deviated septum, but most often it's sleep apnea. Apnea is a condition where you have short pauses in breathing during sleep. At this moment, the oxygen level in your blood drops, and the brain, to save you from suffocation, sends an alarm signal, forcing you to take a breath. You might not fully wake up, but your sleep is pulled out of the deep phase. There can be hundreds of these micro-awakenings in a single night. Naturally, after a night of fighting for air, you will wake up completely unrested. If your loved ones say that you snore and sometimes fall silent, if you have high blood pressure, excess weight, and morning fatigue, be sure to see a sleep specialist and get a sleep study done. It could fundamentally change your life. Well, we've broken down 10 hidden mistakes and 3 common problems that prevent us from sleeping. As you can see, quality sleep is not a battle to be won by willpower. It is a delicate dance with our own physiology and psychology. You don't need to implement all 10 tips at once. Choose 2 to 3 that seemed most relevant to you. Remove the phone from your bedroom. Put on worn socks. Write down your plan for tomorrow. You will be amazed at how quickly these small changes yield big results. Stop fighting with your sleep. Start helping it. Create the right conditions for it, and it will come to you on its own. Thank you for watching this video to the end. Write in the comments which of these mistakes was the biggest revelation for you. I'll be very interested to read them. Take care of yourselves, get enough sleep, and see you in the next videos. Sweet dreams.